Hi, this is Demetria. This video is long overdue. It's been 2 years, I think, now since I made a video, and I'm just coming back out to kind of update you and let you know about the Rituxan and the situation that I'm um, going through as far as the Neuromyelitis Optica. So I'm gonna give an update or recap, as you would say. So in March of 2019, I started feeling some numbness in my left leg, kind of some um, like burning and to the touch, the soreness around my chest area. And one night I went to sleep and I had real bad chest pain. I was laying on my chest and I had a real bad chest pain. I got up, I took a bare aspirin, and I went back to sleep. I went to work that day, and through that day, my leg was buckling. My right leg was buckling, and it was kind of hard for me to walk. Like I literally was walking like somebody that was drunk. So, um, I still didn't go to the emergency room. So the next night, I went. Next day, about 6 o'clock in the morning, I went to the emergency room, and I walked in, and they ran tests on me all day long, from 6:30 that morning to 7 o'clock that night. So I was in there all day. Uh, Nothing to eat, just blood work, tests, spinal tap, um, MRIs, CAT scans, um, for 12 hours, nothing but tests. And the doctor came in and said that they was putting me in a hospital. Basically, at this point, I was in a hospital for about 30 days, from March the 5th or 6th of 2019 until April the 2nd of 2019. Okay, so in that time, I spent about 4 or 5 days at Duke University, Duke Regional. That's small Duke. I spent about 4 or 5 days at Duke Regional, and they um, gave me big bags of steroids. And I think steroids are supposed to help slow down the flare up and the progression of what was happening. And it actually slowed it down, but it didn't stop it. It still didn't do what it's supposed to have done. So they shipped me out from Duke Regional, and they sent me to Duke University. There's Big Duke. And I got in there, and again, blood work, MRI, CAT scans. And at this point, I was not walking. I was literally paralyzed from chest down. And it was in patches. I make it feel in my thigh, and then I couldn't feel in my calf or lower leg, and then I probably could feel in my foot. I probably could work my toe or my ankle, but I couldn't move legs. I still had my upper body strength. I still had my, eyesight. But like I said, it was in patches where I couldn't feel anything, and I was paralyzed from chest down. So, with that being said, as you know, neuromyelitis is a rare uh, disease, and it has something to do with the blood and um, protein in the B cell or too much protein in the B cell. And from my understanding, I've had that condition when they found it in 2007, but nothing came about it. No flare up, no anything. Like this thing just hit out of the blue. So to me, my opinion, Neuromyelitis Optica is like a cross between MS and like the blood where it could be like leukemia or sickle cell. So it's like a cross in between the two. Um, while I'm in Big Duke, I had to stay there for 2 weeks, and they did this thing called plasma freezes, which is something like dialysis, but what they do is they run your blood out of your system with a bag of calcium and other stuff. They run your blood out of your system and run it back in, which was cleansing and purifying your blood. So they did that for about 2 weeks, but it was every other day. In that process, I had physical therapy to come in because I couldn't walk. They were only allowed to kind of get me up off the bed, sit me up, try to, get me to move what I could move. Um, so that went along about 2 weeks, and after that, they shipped me back to Little Duke Regional, and I stayed at Duke Regional that time in the rehabilitation center, and I was there maybe a week and a half, or maybe like 7 or 8 days, maybe 10. I'm not sure at this point. But I went back for rehab, and I had rehab twice a day. So they was trying to teach me to cope with what I was dealing with, what I was going through. Now, me, I'm different. I don't like medicine. I don't like taking pills. I don't like medication. I don't like the way it make me feel. I like to be in my right frame of mind. And the medicine that they give you for illnesses and stuff, it will help one way, but it will also tear down something else in your body. So you got to be careful. Okay, I took the rehab. They helped me to cope with the situation I was going through. I was in a wheelchair. I could not um, walk on my own without aid. I had a walker and so forth. Um, Before I could leave the hospital, I had to be able to take steps going down and coming back up. Um, had to be able to stand, had to be able to kind of move. So I had to know how to dress myself, go to the bathroom, wash myself. So I went home April the 2nd, and I could do things for myself. I cooked for myself. I stand up at the stove, but I was in a wheelchair. Um, One day I just felt like I could walk, and I put on a knee brace on my right leg because that actually was the weaker side. So I put a knee brace on because my knee was still buckling. And I got up and I walked from the counter to the stove, which is less than like 25 feet. So, and I kept pushing myself because I felt like I could walk. If you feel like you could do something, don't hinder yourself from doing it. Try it. Also, through this, um, I am a Christian. I am a Christian woman. I'm not religious. I am saved and filled with the Holy Ghost. I have a relationship with God, but I'm not religious yet and still, but that's a difference. That's another story. Okay, so um, through the time that I was dealing with this, I never lost hope. I never gave up my faith. I did not um, think that I wasn't going to walk. I did not let this thing overtake me. I took control And I was determined. You got to have determined. You got to be have the drive to push yourself through this. You got to have faith. I prayed and I talked to God. God told me miracle, and I believed it. There were little signs and people that He sent across my path that helped me through this whole ordeal. My faith, as my father says, like on 1,000. He said, "Baby girl, you got the faith of 10 people." And I never gave up hope. I just kept pushing and I kept pushing. And I believed that I was going to walk. And I did. Okay, so fast forward, we come to August, less than 6 months. I had another attack. I had a flare up. And this time it attacked my left side. So during this process of going through this, I went back into the hospital for about 5 or 6 days, you know, and through that time, they gave me steroids again, which kind of slowed it down. But I had to end up taking the rituximab, and um, I took the rituximab. I had to end up, you know, being on rituximab. I'm still on rituximab, uh, but I'm taking it once every 4 months. So that's 3 times a year. I would go down to the infusion center and I would sit up in there all day long. Thankfully, and I'm so grateful to the Lord that I had not had any adverse side effects. I had not had any bad reaction or anything um, to the rituximab, and it actually helped because it helped me not have any more flare-ups. So this is June the 15th, 2021, and it's been 2 years. I haven't had a flare up since August of 2019. I take the rituximab, as I said, every 3 to 4 months. I'm doing good on it. I'm actually walking better. This is the thing that I want people to understand and I want people to know. The doctors are only going to give you but so much information dealing with this illness and this disease. This disease affects the spine, the brain, and the eyes. It's like MS. The doctors are not going to give you, like I said, but so much information. It's like you have to find it on your own. Um, Listen to your body. If you are um, faith, if you have a strong faith and you're a believer, God will tell you. God will tell you exactly what to do for your body. I have a doctor here, and Duke is a good hospital. It's the best hospital, but the doctor that I have, not so much good. I had to tell the doctor things about me. Granted, they did say they don't know much about the condition because it's rare. Not too many people have it, so they don't know how to deal with it. So people like me get on Facebook, get on YouTube, and put the word out so other people would know what to do, how to handle this situation. My experience, everybody's experience is different. This things affect people in different ways. I'm glad, I'm lucky. Well, I don't believe in luck, but God has blessed me that it did not attack my eyes. It did attack my mobility to the point that I had lost control of my hands and my feet. And still, sometimes I can walk and Some days I drag one of my feet, one of my foot, you know. And at first, I could touch my nose, but at one point it was, and I couldn't touch my nose. Okay, so I've gained control of my left side. Sometimes it's weak, not so weak that I can't move or I can't walk or I can't hold anything, but you can feel the weakness. It's not as strong as it used to be. And that's just some days. It's not every day. It's not all the time, but some days it feel weak. Um, my right side, which was the one that was like really hit the worst, um, I'm finally getting control of my right leg. It still buckles sometimes. It's weak, but I'm building the muscle strength back up in it. Um, I'm building my mobility. I'm building my balance. I'm still a fall risk. I can walk. I walk with aid, and I try to walk mostly without my walker or wheelchair. Um, it's a roller aid, so I can sit on it. But I try to walk without it. I have canes. Sometime I might have to walk with a cane because I just need that extra support. But as I said, they say I have lesions on the spine. They say I have lesions on the brain. Um, my doctor didn't think that I was going to walk, but I am. Praise God. I'm walking. I've been walking. I walked 2 months after I got out the hospital. So, and I've been walking ever since. Um, this is not an overnight thing that you just bounce back from. You literally, this takes time. It's a progress. It's a process and it's a progress to get back where you were. You may not be 100%, but at least you will get back there. And then the thing that I want to say is um, through this issue, and I guess it could go for people that has MS and everything, eat right. Definitely eat right. There are certain things that you should not eat. There are certain things that you don't want to eat with these type of diseases, MS, um, any autoimmune system disease. They diagnosed me um, and said that I have hypothyroidism. Um, just last year, they sent me to get tests, and then they said Hashimoto disease, and I'm not claiming any of that stuff. Um, but yet and still, eat right. Uh, no recreational drugs, no hard drugs, no alcohol. Try to exercise as much as you can, at least twice a day. If you can only do 10 things, do it because it increases your muscle strength. You lose muscle density, you lose weight, but you gain your weight back. Work on your muscle. Water therapy. Water therapy is very good for these types of conditions. These are the things that the doctor did not tell me, and other people in the streets gave me suggestions. The Lord will sometimes wake me up out of my sleep and show me stuff. Literally. Magnesium is a natural muscle relaxant. The doctors didn't tell me that. The Lord told me. B12. The doctors didn't tell me that. The Lord told me. So um, I take no other medication. They did have me on gabapentin, and They say it help with the nerve, but it also gives you some side effects of like anxiety and stuff, and I didn't like that. Um, I stopped taking it because every time I took gabapentin, it made me hurt, um, and I couldn't deal with it. I now suffers with muscle spasms on my right side, deep in my hip reflector, and when it spasms, it presses on the nerve in the lower part of the back, which got, starts the psychotic nerve. And then I have burning in my left leg, and it's both going at the same time. So I now see a chiropractor so that it could adjust my back and help the bones to get off the nerve because I did fall, and it kind of shift my hip so one was higher than the other, and that may have had a lot to do with it, but we shall see. um it helps a lot. Your back will be hurting a lot. um but yeah, I have that MS band around my waist. Some days I can tell, some days I can't. And my walking is better. I used to walk with a limp. Some days I walk a normal walk, and then some days I walk with a limp. Some days my legs are good. Some days my legs are heavy. Some days, um, it do the lesions on the brain sometimes do affect because you have to think before you speak, and it's like you know what you want to say, but it just don't come out right then. It's like a delay. Slurred speech, and the rituximab mimics the disease. So you don't know if it's the disease or is it the medicine. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot of that, but it's just like a sporadic thing. It's just like sometimes slurred speech, sometimes I have to think of what I want to say. Sometimes I drag my foot, sometimes I limp, and it's not bad. But I will deal with all of that versus to not being able to walk or being paralyzed and not being able to take care of myself. So, again, I made this video so people who, because when I first found out about this, there was not much out there of people who had neuromyelitis. You tell people about it, a lot of people don't know what it is. So I made this video so that it could help somebody, and give somebody hope. It's a process. It's not an overnight thing. It's been 2 years, and I went from not walking to walking. Even when the doctors didn't think I was, they didn't think I was going to walk, but I'm walking. So this should really, really give somebody hope. Even somebody in MS, it should give you hope. But it's all about getting the right therapy. It's all about getting the right medication. Just don't allow them to put you on any kind of medications because, again, it tears down one part of your body to the next. I don't take anything. I do have muscle relaxant besides the magnesium. It's Flexerol, and I don't take it every day, but like sometimes the spasms may get a little bit, you know, that I can't handle it, or so I would take one at night, and it was prescribed 3 times a day, but I would take it at night while I'm going to bed so it would relax my muscle. And it would stay for 30 days, but I would take maybe 2 or 3 times, and then I would stop because you can get addicted to it. So I keep the muscle relaxant on hand just in case of an emergency. Ibuprofen, I find ibuprofen work a whole lot better for certain things. I am not in constant pain. I don't know about other people, but I'm not in any constant pain. I think my back may hurt sometime if I sit up too long. You know, you gotta maintain your weight because when you're heavy and your core is weak because of the paralysis, you're carrying around a lot of weight and it's heavy. So my suggestion would be maintain your weight, eat the right foods, leafy greens, vegetables. I would stay away from bread, pasta, carbs, stuff like that. Eat a lot of fish. Fish is good for this kind of thing. Drink a lot of natural juices, um, green greens, fish, chicken. You know, stay away from processed meats. Um, Purify your blood. Maybe even check into herbalism because a lot of herbs help with a whole lot of things, detoxing the liver and cleansing your blood, like pomegranate juice, beets, stuff like that cleanses your blood. Um, Fish, good for the brain, the memory. You know, just look into these things. Don't wait for a doctor to tell you what to do because they don't. They don't tell you. They will not tell you. They are only going to get you to a point where they can keep you on medicine or keep you coming back into the hospital. That's how they get paid. You know, I've been blessed. I've been blessed not to go back into the hospital. I've been blessed. I've been blessed not to have a lot of pains besides the spasms and the sciatic nerve. Hopefully, that's about to go. But I hope this video helps somebody, helps someone. Like I said, it's long overdue. I suppose I had done this like in 2020, but COVID was around and um, it was just so much stuff going on. So I hope this helps someone and pray, believe, and trust God.